So are you a crafter that had this really great idea and it's just looked beautiful in your mind, and then as you started to move forward with that project, it just completely backfired and did not at all turn out the way that you expected? Well, guess what? You're not alone, and it happens to the very, very best of us. So for this tutorial, I'm not going to show you the steps in which I messed up. I'm actually going to skip right over that so that I don't waste your time. But I am going to show you how I correct it so that this tumbler does not end up in the chuck it bucket. Hello, and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials. My name is Rebecca Escott, and you'll notice in the very beginning I had already taped off my 20-ounce tumbler so that I could go ahead and do a vinyl half wrap. Both the 20-ounce tumbler and this beautiful vinyl print are both from AB Designs. So when taping off your tumbler, it's just going to make it a nice guide so that we can use our X-Acto knife to trim down both sides so that we have perfect straight edges. Once you've trimmed up both sides, then we're going to go ahead and trim the rim. Once we've done that, we want to make sure that we don't have any air pockets up underneath that vinyl. If so, use your weeding pen to go ahead and pop those out. So while I go ahead and trim up this other side, I want to explain to you in the upcoming clip. The upcoming clip is where you're going to see that I just hated the design. I had applied some clear cast decals and went over them with a white Arteza chalk, and I thought it was absolutely hideous. With that being said, I thought how I could fix this. So overnight, I gave it some thought, and I decided to go ahead and do a dirty pour. So you'll notice I did go ahead and do a spritz of white spray paint down at the very bottom on the front, which is where my decal is going to go. So I have to protect the side that I actually love and want to keep. So I have learned over time, doing quite a few dirty pours, that the electrical tape actually works way better than painter's tape. Once your dirty pour has been dried for 24 hours, it really pulls away much sweeter than using painter's tape. So for both sides and down at the very, very bottom, I will use the electrical tape, which is going to be the base, if you will, for the dirty pour. I'm using about a 3-inch wide of painter's tape on the other sections in which I do not want to risk any paint getting. Now that we're completely taped off, it's now time to go ahead and prep the tumbler and getting it propped up, if you will. You would never want to leave this tumbler flat on a paper plate. So I always like to use a couple of throwaways and use it to prop my tumbler up. I'm going to use 2 different greens and a white just to make it obviously to where it makes sense and matches the tumbler perfectly. So when I poured these into my throwaway dirty pour cup, I did not use any rhyme or reason. Most importantly, when doing any dirty pour, you want to make sure that you have more than enough paint to cover the entire tumbler, or in this case, half the tumbler. So I would like to go ahead and apologize for the angle that you're going to be getting. It's not the best view, but I promise you, once the 24 hours is up and I can go ahead and come back in and remove the tape and touch the tumbler, you will really get to see the beauty of the dirty pour. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and just continue to pour in my different colored greens with my whites. I didn't really want it to be too white, but I also didn't want it to be too green. I think at the end of the day, I was very pleased with the outcome of the mix and how it laid out on the tumbler. So anytime you're doing a dirty pour, it's super important to go ahead and brush off that bottom rim so that it's not sitting there being too super thick. Once your dirty pour is fully complete, make sure you allow this to dry for 24 hours before coming back in and messing with it. So while we watch the dirty pour in progress, I also want to mention, for those of you that don't know, once this channel reaches 40,000 subscribers, we are going to have the biggest giveaway to date. But you must be a subscriber of this channel and a group member at Everything Tumbler Tutorials for your chance to win. I want to thank you all so very much for all your continued support, and I want to wish everyone the best of luck.
Fade away. Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby, have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could.
So after it's been 24 hours and we know that our cup is solid and it's nice and dry, we already know that it's not going to be dry on the bottom of that paper plate. Be sure to wear your gloves and make sure you swap them out before you go to remove any tape. So I wanted to save this piece for you because this is seriously the most satisfying thing ever. I also wanted to point out as well that if you happen to have any bleeds from underneath your tape, just take a baby wipe and wipe it right off, as this tumbler, remember, has already been epoxied before. Once you've cleaned up any bleeds that you might have had, now we're going to go ahead and make sure that we clear seal this with Rust-Oleum, because we want to make sure we have a solid foundation with the clear seal, just so that when we go to epoxy, our epoxy doesn't repel. Off camera, to save you some time, I did go ahead and apply the clear cast decal from AB Designs, as well as a coat of epoxy. So now we can go in with the nail tape for the finishing touches. This nail tape comes in 3 different sizes with AB Designs, a 3, 2, and a 1 millimeter. This green was the absolute perfect choice for this tumbler to finish it up. I decided that I was going to go down both sides as well as that bottom rim just underneath the design. So then I decided to go 1 extra mile and add in the black nail tape, also from AB Designs, down both sides as well as that front. Once you've gone ahead and added in your nail tape to finish dressing up the front, if you will, I decided to go in with some accents for the back. The clear cast decals, these are from a 12 by 12 sheet from AB Designs. The green is just, as you can see, gorgeous and deep enough in color that it shows up amazingly on this back side. And it was a perfect way to go ahead and add in the back to the front, so everything jived perfectly. As a reminder, make sure you check all of your decals, clear cast and or vinyl, to make sure you don't have any air pockets. If you do, you can use the tip of your X-Acto knife or your weeding pen to get them out. At this point, I absolutely love where this tumbler is now. And to think, this almost hit the chuck it bucket. I'm so happy that I was able to figure out how to save it. For this next coat of epoxy, I decided to add in this incredible MJ Magic Mix from AB Designs. Though this tumbler is beautiful the way that it is, it definitely needed some shimmer and shine from the MJ collection. For this coat of epoxy, I decided to go ahead and do another coat of the Fast Set from Counterculture DIY. This beauty only needed 1 more final coat of epoxy and she was complete. I want to thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and if you liked it, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and find us on Facebook at Everything Tumbler Tutorials for continued learning.
I know I'm not perfect,
Try to stay strong and fake a smile.